thank you all for attending tonight's community conversation, Japanese Tea Ceremony, presented by Megumi Unno and her tea group, Wakakusa-kai, a tea group in Eugene. The community conversation series is a living learning initiative of university housing. And the panel discussions are co-presented by the Hamilton think tank, the Oregon think tank and the Oregon Brain Trust, two undergraduate academic groups in the residence halls. Tonight's panel was put together by the Oregon Brain Trust, who meets weekly on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. in the Dement classrooms, or in the Dement Lounge in Walton Complex. I would like to invite any residents or any students who are interested in joining us to come to the Dement Lounge to join us on Wednesday evenings. We also welcome any new ideas and valuable inputs of all of your ideas. I also wish to acknowledge our co-sponsors, the Robert D. Clark Honors College, the Oregon Humanities Center, and the Undergraduate Studies, who have collaborated with University Housing for the past 6 years to make this series possible. Finally, you should have found a comment card on your seats when you entered the room. So we would like to have you fill those cards out and give us feedback for our sessions. And also, you should have found another flyer on your seat when you came in about the Wakakusa-kai tea group. If you are interested in learning tea ceremony or want to have more information about tea ceremony, there's the contact on that, so please contact us. Our panel will conclude around 9 p.m., so please stick around until the very end, and questions will be answered at the very end. Finally, starting off our panel, our library partner, Barbara Jenkins, head of the reference department, has prepared a multimedia slideshow that runs about 6 minutes from the UO Digital Collections and Electronic Database. The slideshow will also be available for viewing on the Community Conversations website, which will also be found in the brochures that are over there that you could look at. So please enjoy the first 6 minutes with a slideshow. Now I'd like to invite my tea teacher, Megumi Unno, the head of Wakakusa-kai tea group, to do the next presentation about the history and all about tea ceremony.
Good evening, everyone. Is mic working? Okay. First, I'd like to express my special thanks to University Housing and Oregon Brain Trust, and also the coordinator of this event, Remi Nagata, for making this event possible and for inviting our tea group over to this event tonight. And thank you all so much for coming tonight. Earlier this past summer, just a moment. Oh, yeah. Earlier this past summer, Remi contacted me to arrange this demonstration, and after we talked, she ended up joining our tea group because she had studied tea ceremony in Japan too. And since then, we've been enjoying having her in our tea room. So this is very special. Thank you very much. And now, I would like you to see the photo on the screen. This is a cobblestone path leading to a tea room. And tonight, I would like to invite you to walk with me on this path to the beautiful world of tea ceremony. Tea ceremony is very unique and fascinating cultural tradition. When you study tea ceremony, you will develop connoisseurship in a wide range of arts, such as the art of gardening or landscaping, or the art of architecture, calligraphy, brush painting, bamboo craft, wood craft, pottery, textile, lacquerware, ceramics, and flower arrangement, and even cooking. So as a host, you become an artist using your aesthetic sense and knowledge to create a beautiful environment, expressing yourself, but also to harmonize with nature. And in the gathering, host and guests become performers, like a small intimate theater. And the movement of host and guests is precisely choreographed, like a slow dance. And tea ceremony is also a social gathering. Host and guests get together in a tea room, share a bowl of tea, sometimes meal, and sake, and enjoy each other's company in a very peaceful setting. And host does his or her best to be considerate to the guests, and the guests do the same to for the host and for each other. And it creates very positive and accepting atmosphere and strengthen the solidarity among the group. But it is not a mere social gathering because we try to connect in a deeper sense. One thing that we spend our lifetime learning is to appreciate the moment here and now. There's an expression of tea ceremony, ichigo ichie. The direct translation is one life, one meeting. But it means we should strive to do our best at every moment because we have this moment only once in our lives. But in our busy daily life, it's very difficult even to remember that. So in the tea practice gives us an opportunity to remind ourselves. So the tea room is a place to appreciate the moment, a place to regain the clarity of mind, the purity of heart, and it's a place to come back to our own self. Now I'd like to give you a brief history of tea ceremony. The custom of tea drinking first started in China, and it was brought to Japan by a Zen monk named Eisai, who went to China to study Zen Buddhism in the late 12th century. And so at the beginning, tea was used in Zen monasteries, like this place. And Eisai propagated tea as a medicine because it contains lots of antioxidants, a lot of vitamins and minerals, as well as caffeine-like substance, which keeps Zen monk from getting sleepy during meditation. And this custom spread to the nobility and wealthy warriors as a pastime, which was often accompanied by luxurious and boisterous drinking parties and even gambling. So more orderly etiquette came to be demanded, and the formal and aristocratic style tea ceremony was developed. This ceremony was mainly to highlight and to enjoy the Chinese utensil, this luxury. It's a very intricate Chinese stand holding a fancy Chinese utensils in this picture. And also, this is apple-shaped Chinese tea caddy, beautiful smooth glaze, accompanied by red lacquered tray with intricate carving, and also accompanied by 2 silk bags. Another tea caddy, beautiful shape, we call it shiribukura shape, which means big butt shape or round butt shape. And this one's accompanied by 3 different silk bags, like to change like a Barbie doll, So you can tell how people treasure and adore this kind of utensils. And actually collecting this kind of utensil was very important for the warrior to enhance their social status. And 16th century, this extravagant ceremony was transformed into a simple yet spiritual practice by Japanese 3 tea masters. And this is one of them, and the most famous master, whose name is Senno Rikyu. And those 3 tea masters accommodated the spirit of Zen Buddhism into its practice. And because of this transformation, not only rich people, but also much wider range of people came to enjoy this tradition. And Rikyu devised a very small entrance for the tea room, so that whether he was an emperor or military ruler, everyone would have to bow when he entered into the tea room. So you can see it's the right side corner, there's a darker square. That's the entrance. You can see how small it is, probably 3 feet high. Now close up, darker square at upper right corner. And in comparison to the size of the slippers, you can see how small the entrance is. So you practically have to crawl into the space. And Rikyu also prohibited the warriors from bringing their swords into the tea room, so that the space is harmonious and peaceful rather than the place of power and authority. And so in this style of tea, everybody had to be equally humble and equally respected. And This is called wabi style tea ceremony, and this is based on the special aesthetics, which is called wabi aesthetics. And wabi is a moral and artistic principle advocating a quiet life free from worldly concerns. And the typical idea of beauty at that time was cherry blossoms in full bloom, gorgeous scenery, or a full moon in the clear sky, the perfect beauty. But one tea master said, the moon without any clouds is not very interesting. And another tea master said, the wabi beauty can be found in a scenery of autumn dusk, where there's neither cherry blossoms nor tinted leaves, but single modest hut on the coast. So that means when you don't have any set ideas, true beauty exists everywhere. And with this aesthetics, the tea master started to use different kind of utensils. And actually, this is the typical Chinese utensil tea bowl used for aristocratic style tea. Beautiful shiny glaze with gold rim, has a beautiful stand with intricate craftsmanship. Another Chinese tea bowl from different angle, a spectacular glaze, almost looking like a jewel. But together with this kind of fancy utensils, tea master started to use this kind of simple bowl, tea bowl. This is from Korea. And Rikyu found this bowl in fish market, so they call it totoya bowl, which means fish market bowl. And this is one of the first tea bowls made in Japan. Rikyu commissioned one craftsman to make a tea bowl which embodies wabi beauty. So this is famous, like black raku bowl. And this is water jar, but I throw in this picture for comparison. This is typical elegant beauty. But together with this kind of fancy utensils, tea master used this kind of simple water jar from Vietnam. And the shape is unsymmetrical by unskilled craftsmanship, unskilled hand. It's very charming. And the same thing, this is the water jar made in Japan. Very earthy and strong, warm. And they even use water well bucket in a tea room. And I bet in summertime it gives very cool feeling. And actually this is more than 400 years old, this wood water well bucket. This was used by Rikyu. And they adore this kind of water jar with cracks and very rough surface. They love the imperfection. And this is the tea scoop made by Rikyu. And tea scoop is supposed to be straight. But this one's a little bit warped or distorted. And they love it because of this distortion. And same thing happened to the tea rooms. So the fancy big ballroom used for aristocratic style tea ceremony with beautiful decoration was transformed into a simple, rustic, smaller tea room, resembling a farmer's thatched hut. All natural wood, and material is kind of mismatched. Even the size of the window and location of the window is mismatched. And they are using mud wall with rice stalk in it. And the size of the room became smaller and smaller. Actually, it's so small that we are seeing the two rooms at the same time in this picture. And so this is the picture designed by Rikyu, which is smallest existing tea room in Japan, which has only 2 tatami mats. You can see we have 3 mats, tatami mats set over there, but the room actually is only 2 tatami mats, 6 by 6. That's the room. So we have seen this intriguing transformation of the philosophy and aesthetic of the tea ceremony. And at the end, I'd like to share a famous and my favorite anecdote of Rikyu. One autumn, beautiful autumn day, Rikyu told his son Doan to clean his tea garden. And Doan said, sure. And then when Doan finished cleaning, Rikyu said, clean it again. So Doan said, okay. And then he worked hard and then cleaned for the second time. And then Rikyu told Doan to clean again. So Doan said, okay. And then he worked extra hard again. And then still, Rikyu said, it's not enough. And completely bewildered, Doan said, Father, I swept garden 3 times, and I weeded, and I did everything I can think of, and I even sprinkle water for purification. I don't know what else to do. And then Rikyu quietly went out to the garden and shook the trunk of an old tree gently, letting the leaves scatter on the green moss. And then Rikyu said, now it's good. So in this anecdote, Rikyu points to a beauty which embraces something beyond our control, rather than impeccable beauty complying with our expectation, the expectation of a small mind. So by respecting and seeking harmony with nature, which is ever-changing and sometimes unpredictable, we naturally become humble and flexible. So that's the wabi state of mind. We are appreciative of every circumstance and every moment here and now, embracing the imperfect and the insufficient. And that's the state of mind that we aim to reach someday through our tea practice. So thank you very much for listening. And I'd like to replay the slide this time without any narration so that you can enjoy the image as it is, and also so that you can have a little bit of quiet time before the upcoming beautiful demonstration by my beautiful students. Okay. to start the tea demonstration. Okay. So Remi is going to play the first guest role. She's entering into the tea room, going through the very small entrance, crawl in, and she has a fan. Oh, mic is not on? I thought it was on.
It is on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she has a fan because she's not supposed to carry a sword. So fan is a substitute of a sword. And certainly you cannot harm people with a fan. And she took a look at the alcove and a scroll and a flower, and then now she's taking a look at the brazier and the kettle. And the scroll expresses the theme of the gathering. And today's scroll reads Wake Seijaku, which means respectively harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility, which is the 4 important principles of the tea ceremony. And then now the assistant host is carrying in the suite. We have suite right before the tea, because in the tea room everything is in balance. So and the green tea is slightly bitter. So in order to make balance with that taste, we eat sweet before. Sweet and bitter comes together. Now the host is coming in. And everyone bow at the same time. Now she carries in a water jar. And in the tea ceremony, everything is very subtle. So I would like you to listen to the silence, the quietness. And actually, in this silence, you can hear a very interesting sound. So in the tea room, all your senses become very, very keen. The handling she did, the ladle handling, is called mirror handling. When she holds the ladle, it's a mirror, and she's reflecting herself. And before she makes a bowl of tea, her heart should be pure. She folds her silk cloth to purify the utensils, which are actually already clean, but this is a symbolic act of purification of heart, and also creating oneness between host and guests. Please listen to the sound of water. Please notice all the subtle movement and subtle sound. And now she's purifying the tea whisk. The tea whisk is actually one piece of bamboo cut into like 100 pieces 100 pieces. And a white cloth she's using, I heard the way folded the white cloth is very, very similar to the ones they use in Catholic Mass. And in 16th century, many missionaries, Jesuit missionaries are in Japan. So tea ceremony received influence from the Christianity too. And now the host offers the sweet to the guest, and she's scooping a tea powder into the tea bowl. The tea we use is called matcha, meaning powdered tea. And we use the same tea leaves that like Lipton tea use, but it's not fermented. It's quickly steamed and dried and then stored in a very cool pot for several months. And then when it's dry and ready, you grind the tea leaves into powder. Very, very fine powder. And it has a very bright green color, beautiful color. And as I said, it has lots of antioxidant, vitamin C, minerals. And then now, first guest excuse herself for drinking tea before the second guest. And then she's thanking to the host for making a bowl of tea. Then she turns the tea bowl twice so that she avoid drinking from the front of the tea bowl to show respect to the tea bowl and also to the host. And then hostess excuse herself for using the second bowl. The second guest is having a sweet right before that bowl of tea. So during the procedure, there are a lot of bowing going on to make harmony with each other and then show respect to each other. So the 4 principles of the tea ceremony: harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. Harmony is, of course, harmony between host and guests and among the members, but also harmony with nature. So everything used in the tea room must have harmony, harmonize with nature. So the season is very important. And respect, of course, is between host and guest and between guests. But it also refers to the inanimate object, like tea utensils. And when you bow to the tea bowl, of course you are bowing to the host too. But at the same time, you are appreciating the bowl, the clay, the fire, and tea powder, and everything. All the circumstances which make this bowl exist here, and all the circumstances that you are brought to this moment. And the purity. Practically cleaning is very important task in tea ceremony, but mainly it's purity of heart. And there's a lot of symbolic acts during the ceremony. The first guest said, "Please finish." Then the host acknowledged. Usually it is harder for the guests to ask for more. So if you don't stop the host is supposed to make another bowl because host is considerate. Maybe the guest is hesitant to ask for more, so she makes another bowl. She's very considerate, so guests need to stop her. Now host is cleaning up the utensils after the ceremony. And the preparation is elaborate and the cleaning is slightly faster. You wipe twice, and at the beginning you wipe 3 times. And she resupply the cold water into the kettle because she used the hot water. This is the conclusion of the ceremony. Everybody bow at the same time. And then the first guest goes to the alcove to take a look at the scroll and flower again for the last time. Good job. Then went to the kettle to see the fire and brazier and kettle for the last time again. Okay, thank you very much. So now Remi is going to take over and make speech.
Thank you all for coming. Now I'd actually like to invite everybody from the Wakakusa-kai tea group who have been helping us out in the back to come out. And including myself, I would like to just talk about why I started tea ceremony, and also like everybody else to share why they started tea ceremony and why they enjoy it so much. So I started tea ceremony in high school where it was an option to do it as an after-school club. So going to an international school, I thought it would be great to have something that's actually Japanese that I actually knew and felt more like close to. So I started it then, and I started it in 10th grade. And at first I was like, oh, there's all these sweets and good tea. And I was like, might as well just go with that. And my grandmother did it. And a lot of the females in my family did tea ceremony, but they didn't remember much about it since they also did it during middle school or high school. So I was like, okay, we have all the stuff, might as well learn it and try to learn more about the culture. So that's how I started, and I got really hooked onto it. And once I came to college, I came to Yoba. One reason was because it said in the housing guides that there was Japanese tea ceremony performances. So I got really excited. So that was a huge factor for me to come here because I wanted to continue. So now I am actually able to continue tea ceremony, and I'm really excited about it. So.
My name is Satoru Fukushima. I graduated UofO like 2 years ago, and yeah, I came back to work here. So for me, tea ceremony is very important. For many important things, I think we cannot get a kind of real understanding until doing by ourselves, not just seeing it. So, and that's quite true also for tea ceremony, I think. So if you are interested in tea ceremony, I really recommend you to participate it, not seeing it. So I think the tea ceremony should be a very good entrance point to reach Japanese culture. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. My name is Miyoko. Actually, I started tea ceremony this spring, so I'm really new. And to tell the truth, I wasn't very interested. Like, first I thought, if it's tasty, why bother? And my friend invited me, and I visited Megumi Sensei's tea ceremony, and I fell in love. It was totally different world. I love the spiritual part, and it makes me feel calm and peaceful. And I'm beginning to appreciate everything, all the subtle things. So I love it, and I hope you enjoyed the tasty part of it. And you might be the same. If you start, you will fall in love. Oh, welcome. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Naoko Nakadate, and I also started practicing tea a couple months ago. So I really don't know much about tea, but I really enjoy practicing tea every time I come to a lesson. So I hope everyone here will find it fun tonight. Thank you.
こんばんは。My name is Rika Ikei. I started tea ceremony like 8 years ago when I was in Boston. I always wanted to try tea ceremony when I was in Japan. I actually lived in Kyoto where everything started, but unfortunately, I was really busy and I just didn't have the time. And I met this wonderful tea teacher in Boston who is Portuguese American. He studied tea in Kyoto for 3 years, and I was so excited. And in his condo, he had a tea room. It was just awesome. And I was really busy then, and I am busy nowadays as well. But when you have like a busy life, you want to have some moment to be quiet and just think about the moment. Like Megumi Sensei was saying, I think it's important that you just like have some time to give yourself peaceful and quietness, and I think tea ceremony does that. And of course the sweets are wonderful too. I love the sweets, and you have seen the pictures of the food, right? Like, oh, it's just so delicate, and that part, like, I really enjoy it too. But it's just the quietness and also the sounds of the steam coming from the kettle and pouring water. I really enjoy every single moment when I'm in tea room. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and we are going to prepare some tea for you. So I have to warn you, it's a bit bitter, but if you have had matcha ice cream, you kind of know the taste probably without the ice cream. But thank you so much.
of you are enjoying the sweets. The tea is coming, so please stick around. And also, we're going to be taking questions and answers. Hopefully, if I can't answer it, they're right behind. So hopefully they'll come out and ask them. Yes, Sherry. Could you repeat it just for the mic?
Your teacher that was here tonight, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. But how long has she been teaching tea ceremony, and how long has she been working? Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to be doing this and in your life?
I don't know if you want to know the personal story. Is this on? Oh, yeah. I don't know, but well, I met my husband through tea ceremony, so that's why I'm in this country. And when we got married, all of our friends gave us tea utensils because they thought I was going to keep doing the tea ceremony in this country, and probably it's hard for me to find the utensils. So I ended up a lot of nice utensils, and then so somehow that decide my direction of the life. And so I've been teaching on and off because we moved so many times. But I was teaching in the East Coast, Rhode Island, in a university, and also I was teaching in Minnesota as private tea teacher, and in Oregon. So on and off, probably I don't know, more than 10 years. Yes.
What does it take to become a tea teacher? How do you know when you're ready to be a tea teacher? Is there some sort of process you go through?
There's a certificate to get, and it's a long procedure. You saw the most basic procedure today, but we have like close to 100 different procedures according to the season, and also according to the utensils, occasions, and everything. So you need to study all of those procedures, and also you like to somehow, and then all the procedure is honed to, you are supposed to make a formal gathering. And for the formal gathering, you need to be able to cook, and you need to make fire with charcoal, and all those things you have to be able to do. So I don't know. I feel I'm still a very beginner, and I sometimes feel I don't deserve teaching tea ceremony because it's a lifelong process. So I'm still actually learning too. So learning, but by teaching you can learn so much. So that's why probably I'm teaching. Yeah. So you won't know if you reach to the point you become a teacher, but I do have certificate, and then I feel like teaching in order to learn. So that's my sense. Any other question? Yes.
How long does a tea ceremony usually last?
Let's see. It lasted like 20 minutes. So the shortest one lasts like this, 20 minutes to make a bowl of tea. And she served for 3 guests. So if you have only one guest, probably shorter. But the formal tea gathering involves making fire, serving meal, serving sake, serving thick tea, which is like mud-like, green mud-like texture, very special tea. And then making fire again, and then serve this kind of thin tea. So it could last 4 hours. But you don't have to. We don't have to sit through in the room because between meal and tea, there's intermission. So you can go out. You can go out and go use bathroom, and stretch your legs, and then come back and crawl into the tea room to have a bowl of tea. So it is fun. I hope, yeah, people enjoy in my tea gathering. And any other question? Yes.
Do you have clothes that you wear specific to tea ceremonies?
Let's see. This is my outfit. So usually, as a tea instructor, I wear kimono. But my students wear because they are busy and they work, and so they come in Western clothes. And as long as you wear, well, you have to be able to sit on the floor. So you don't want to wear a tight pants. That makes your leg sleep really quickly. So it has to be very loose and comfortable. And I would like you to wear clean white socks in the tea room. I'm wearing white tabby socks. And I think this is a symbol of purity or something. So I require all my students to wear clean white socks in the tea room. And I think all of the tea teachers do that too. And other than that, I think you are pretty much okay. Any other question?
The very last word that she said as she bowed here at the end of the ceremony, what is that?
Rika-san, what did you say? 失礼しました? So, どういう意味かね? Excuse.
Sureshimasu is an expression. Sure is literally rudeness. So you are saying like I'm committing the rudeness, but it's just the expression that we use, and we use it when we enter a room or when we retire the room.
Any other question? Yes?
You mentioned you follow a particular tea master, tea school, and there are other tea schools. How different are the tea ceremonies depending on the school?
Let's see. I talked about the tea master, Rikyu, right? Actually, Rikyu is the origin of all the schools. So I think current schools, I don't know how many, but at least a dozen of schools exist in Japan. But they are either offsprings of Sen no Rikyu or the disciples of Sen no Rikyu. So everybody, all the school goes back to the Sen no Rikyu. And so basically, we share the same principles and very similar procedure, but the style is different. You know, like, I don't, because I didn't study in other schools, so I don't know much about school, but some, like, gesture is very feminine. And in our school, people said the movement is very masculine. So we tend to do many things in one hand, but other schools sometimes do with both hands, looking like more like nobility. and we look like warriors. So, masculine movement. Any other question? No question? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
Once again, I'd like to thank Megumi Sensei and all the other members of the Wakakusa-kai tea group. And once again, if you're interested in learning tea, there's a flyer on your chair. So please come see us after, and we'll love to see you as part of our tea group. Thank you very much.